Hi everybody. So, can I have all the girls in the class go to this side of the room and all the boys in the class go to the other side of the room? Now, what do you guys notice? Do we have more girls or more boys? Yes, we do have more girls. So, as you can see, there are 7 girls and 3 boys. So that means there are more girls in this class than boys. So, for the next question, if your favorite flavor of ice cream is chocolate, I'll have you go over here, and if your favorite flavor is vanilla, I'll have you go to the other side. So, what do you guys notice? Is there a side of flavor of ice cream that has less students? Yes, vanilla has less students. There's only 2 students on the vanilla side, and we have 8 students on the chocolate side, which means that less students like vanilla than chocolate ice cream. So, today I'm going to teach you guys about how to figure out if numbers are more than, less than, or equal to. Okay, so we're about to play a fun game that compares numbers. But first, I need to show you guys how to write if a number is greater than, less than, or equal to another number. Okay, so I have written up here, greater than. So the symbol right down here is used to represent when one number is bigger than another number. So I like to pretend that there's an alligator that is hungry and they want the most food possible. Therefore, we want the alligator's mouth to be pointing towards the bigger number. So, can I have you guys write this symbol down on your whiteboards for me? Awesome job, guys. You have your arrows pointing the right way to show greater than. So, next, we have less than. This one in the middle here. Okay. So we use less than when we want to show that a number is less than another number. So can I have you guys also write this symbol on your whiteboards for me, the less than one? Great job, guys. It's facing the right way. So then our last one is equal to. So we use equal to this symbol right down here if 2 numbers are the same, such as like 2 and 2. One of them is not bigger or less than the other one. So can I have you guys draw this equal symbol down on your whiteboards for me as well? Okay, perfect. Those look great. So next, I'm going to have some numbers up on the board, and we are going to practice using greater than, less than, or equal to symbols. So this first one I have here, we have 4 and 2. So looking at these 2 numbers, I can see that 4 is the bigger number. So if we count, we go 1, 2, so 2 is smaller, it comes first, 3, 4. 4 is bigger, we know that. So I'm going to put the greater than symbol there. Okay, and then that is what that would look like if we're using the greater symbol. So next, we have 4 and 2 again. So now, using these same numbers, if I wanted to show that 2 is less than 4, we're going to put the less than symbol. So we already figured out that 4 is more than 2 by counting. So we go again, 1, 2. 2 comes first, so that means that 2 is less than 4. So I'm going to put a less than symbol there super quick. Okay, so this is what that would look like for showing that 2 is less than 4. In this top one, we have 4 is more than 2. So that is how you would show those 2 examples. And then, this final one we have is 5 and 5. So, 5 and 5, they are the same number. So one of them is not bigger than the other. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, both the same. So to show that they are the same number, we are going to put an equal sign right there. Okay, so for this little activity, I don't actually have dice on me, but we're just going to pretend I do. I wrote down numbers on pieces of paper that I'm just going to use for the sake of this lesson video. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how this game will work. Okay, so I'm going to roll the die, and I landed on a 6. So then now my partner is going to roll their die, and look what they got. They got a 3. So for this game, since I rolled a 6 and my partner rolled a 3, I'm going to say that 6 is greater than 3. So if we count, we go 1, 2, 3. So 3 comes first. So we know that 3 is less than 6. So, and then the partner that I'm going with, they are going to look at their number. So they rolled a 3, and they're going to look at how it compares to 6. So they're going to count, they're going to go 1, 2, 3. So 3 is less than 6. So they're going to say 3 is less than 6. So then each player, we're going to use our whiteboards, and they're going to write down their number. So I rolled a 6, my partner rolled a 3, and then they're going to write the correct symbol to represent if their number is greater than, less than, or equal to their partner's number. So I rolled a 6, which is greater than 3. So I'm going to put this symbol here. Okay, so can I have 2 volunteers come up and help me demonstrate how this game is going to work with a partner? Thanks for volunteering. Okay, so now we're going to roll the dice. So, okay, the first student is going to roll a 5, and then the second student is going to roll a 4 in this scenario. Okay, so I'm talking to the first student that rolled a 5. So can you tell us your number and if it is more or less than your partner's number? So then the student, they're going to count, they're going to go, and then the other one is 4. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so then they're going to realize that 4 is less than 5, and that their number 5 is greater than their partner's number 4. So they're going to say 5 is greater than 4. Having trouble figuring out if a number is greater than, less than, or equal to, you are always able to count with your fingers, and that is a great tool to help you. So the next student, they rolled a 4, so I'm going to ask them, it's going to be their turn to say if their number is greater than, less than, or equal to. So they're going to count, they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and their partner's number was 5. So they are going to say that 4 is less than 5. And then they're going to write down on their piece of paper. Okay, so for this game, you guys are each going to have a partner, and each group will play 5 rounds of this game. And I'm going to keep track of which team has more greater than, less than, or equal to rolls. So are you guys ready to play? Okay, so I'm going to split the students up, and then I'm going to be walking around and helping scaffold like correct answers or incorrect answers to help the students understand more. So a response, if a student correctly got greater than, less than, or equal to 1, so I'm going to say, fantastic job on correctly identifying your number if your number was more than, less than, or equal to your partner's number. And then a specific example, I would say, you are correct because 3 is less than 4, and you also drew the correct symbol to show that 3 is less than 4 on your whiteboard. So then, if a student has an incorrect response, I'm going to say, so let's try looking at your die and your partner's die again. So which number comes first when I count to 6? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So does your number come first or your partner's number when I count from 1 to 6? So then they'll identify which one comes first, and if it's greater than, less than, or equal to from there. And then so I'll say the number that comes first when counting will always be the number that is less than the other number. So, okay, so good job figuring out. So now that you know that your number is either greater than, less than, or equal to your partner's number, you're going to say the number that you have is more than, less than, or equal to the other student's number. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the game that we just played. So now we are going to complete a worksheet and use our detective skills at figuring out if a number is more than, less than, or equal to another number. So we're still going to have this up on the board, and then actually in my lesson plan I originally had the word more with this as well, just to help to explain to the students like greater than, less than. So I'm just going to throw that in there because I'm going to go to the focus learner and I'm going to ask Matthew what the word is. So I'm going to point to the word more, that's one of his fry words, and ask him to say the word out loud. And then, so I have this sheet right here to track Matthew and his words. So then I will put a check mark since he correctly said the word. Okay, so then we're going to go into a quick review about the symbols. So remember that the greater than symbol should be used if a number is more than another number. The less than symbol should be used if a number is less than another number. And the equal to symbol will be used if two numbers are the same. Okay, so do you guys have any questions about what I need you to do or about numbers that are more than, less than, or equal to? Okay, so I want you guys to keep in mind that the alligator wants to eat the most food. So we need to determine which number is bigger to get the alligator more food. Make sure his mouth is facing towards the most food possible. So I'm going to have you guys go back to your desks and complete this worksheet, and I'll be going around the room to help answer any questions that you have. Okay, so then some praise statements that I will go around and say to the students. So I'll say, awesome job, student's name, at choosing the higher number and writing the correct greater than symbol. And then, great job, student name, at seeing that these two numbers are equal to each other. And then, perfect job, the student's name, at identifying that this number is less than the other number and using the right symbol to show a less than. And then some corrective statements that I have. So if a student is struggling, I'm going to say, let's look at these two numbers again. And then which one do you think is bigger? How about we count using our fingers? So then we'll count. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll see which number comes first. And then I'll explain to them that that number is going to be less than the other number. So now that we see, so then I either show them less than or greater than, depending on the number. So then I'm just going to go around the classroom, and we're going to loop back to Matthew now. Okay, and then on the worksheet, I have it in the lesson plan, but I'm going to go up to Matthew, and then I'm going to ask him. So I'm going to point to the word number, which is on the worksheet, and I'm going to ask Matthew to say the word out loud, and I will mark if he can or can't say the word. That is one of the fry words. Okay, so then I'll just mark if you got it right or not. And then I'll go around the room a little bit longer. and then I'll circle back to Matthew. And then the word than is on his worksheet as well. So then I'll point to that word, and I'll ask him to say it out loud. And then I will mark on my sheet if he got it correct or not. So now I have a record of some fry words that Matthew can identify and some that he may need a little more support with. Okay, so after the students complete their worksheet, I'm going to have them come back to the center of the room and kind of debrief. So, I hope you guys enjoyed learning about how to tell if numbers are greater than, less than, or equal to other numbers. Did you guys enjoy the fun game that we played? What did you guys like about the game? Did you guys find the game challenging at all? It's alright if you did. This is a brand new topic, and we're going to come back and review this more in the future. So just make sure to remember that the alligator wants to eat the most food possible and point the alligator's mouth towards the bigger number because it wants to chomp the biggest amount of food possible. And then if the number is less than, we are going to put the less than symbol, or if the two numbers are same, the equal to symbol. So, now that we are, so you can apply this in your everyday life by just looking at objects that are the same. If you go to the grocery store and your mom buys red apples and green apples, you can see if she got more red apples or green apples, and you can compare that, and just stuff like that in your everyday life. So, now that we're done learning about greater than, less than, or equal to numbers, we are going to move on to independent reading time.